The following podcast contains adult language and themes, so don't say we didn't fucking warn you.
You're listening to SarahTalk. It's political.
Senator Harris?
She reminds me so much of, like, if Maria from Sesame Street went into politics and got angry about shit.
Who's that the Wisconsin girl that nobody likes? What's her freaking something chur? Yobachur?
Oh my god, this is gold. Girl. Keep going. Keep going.
Critical.
They care about the life of the unborn child, but once it's born, it should pull up its little bootstraps and go get a second job and fucking take care of itself,
And positively LGBT positive.
Look, whenever there's someone coming after my community, they are either wearing a MAGA hat, carrying a Bible, or more often both.
Oh, and occasionally completely absurd.
Oh, they're shutting us down. They're deplatforming us. I do a pretty good Alex Jones voice. They're turning the frogs gay.
Okay, you're sleeping in the child's room tonight because there's no way you're sleeping next to me. That is disgusting. I'm going to have nightmares.
And now, from Haines City, Florida, your host, Sarah Austin.
Yep, you're fired. I tried to say hey. Sarah was fixing the camera.
I just asked, do you remember how to turn all the things back?
I couldn't hear you. I had the headphones on. You weren't talking into the microphone.
So the dog knocked into the camera, and I didn't notice it until
literally 3 seconds.
We've been sitting in here for half an hour getting things ready, and I got everything ready, and then I looked up, and the camera was pointing over here.
This week, the part of Becca will be played by a Christmas present. The fuck?
Now I gotta put my.
I gotta lean way over here and.
Yeah, me too. Hey, happy Christmas, everybody.
Is it Christmas already?
No, not quite, but might as well be. For those of you who are listening from outside the bubble, we're in the Disney bubble, which means that
Christmas
it has been Christmas since like October.
Has it?
And November 1st. So we do Halloween from like
October
July
1st
to
No, it's not that bad.
They do
the
parties and stuff. Disney.
No,
what I'm saying is Disney does
July, though.
No, I'm exaggerating, but the point is it's like
end of August.
There are two seasons. Summer and holiday.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's just like at the end of summer, it's just holiday, and then spring break and summer.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically. So anyway, I don't mind. I'm kind of all about it. I like Christmas, and I don't mind that the Christmas decorations go up on, November 1st, the day the Halloween decorations come down, the Christmas decorations go up. I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Like, I don't really know that you need to decorate for Thanksgiving. I mean, I have a few fall-ish things. I know people that are like, no,
our family did.
Like,
but
I don't mind, though, mixing them in. Like,
Well, Halloween and Thanksgiving combined is fall.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's pumpkins and leaves and fall decor.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And you put the ghosts and the witches out for a while, and you take them away and put a turkey out, right?
Yeah, right.
Hey,
and then you turn your pumpkins around, and on the other side of your pumpkins are Christmas ornaments or snowmans.
Right. Hey, you want to get these fucking boxes out of the way?
Sure.
So, as has been SarahTalk tradition, have we been doing that from
I don't
the
know.
last couple of years at least?
I got to tell you though, I have a confession.
Oh. Did you peek?
No, I didn't peek.
Okay, good. Because I don't kick your ass if you peeked.
No, something that you said, I don't know, the other day made me feel really shitty about what I got you.
Why? What did I say?
You said something about how you put so much thought into my gift. And it just made me feel bad because what I got you was just a stupid little
but you thing. Put So last week on SarahTalk, if you missed it, I cried a lot, and that was the whole point, is that you do Christmas for me in a very thoughtful way all the way around.
Well,
so
yeah, I know, but
so shut up is what I'm saying. So do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first?
I don't know. I probably.
Should I go first? I should go first. All right, I'll go first.
God. It's gonna feel even worse. But I don't know. Then I don't know.
Is this something I can shoot at you?
No,
Because
it's not.
last year or the year before,
You got unicorn
I
sugar.
got unicorn. I got things I could shoot at you. Buzzer buttons.
See, it's stupid.
But we can use them on the show.
Well, that's what I thought, but it's just stupid, ridiculous crap.
Oh, and you didn't fucking open the thing.
No, there's probably not even batteries in them. That's how thoughtless it was.
God.
I told you, it made me feel really shitty about it.
Stop it. Just these people won't get to see me open the very thoughtful gifts. That's all.
Yeah, that's
all
true.
that matters.
There are some really.
So
no batteries, huh? Wait,
what do they say?
Do they take AA?
It doesn't say what. It's like mystery messages. It doesn't say what they take, or I mean, what
it says.
Messages
Yeah,
say.
no. Let me see one of them.
Yeah, AAA.
Oh fuck!
Don't have any of those in here.
Damn
Well,
it.
anyway, so we have yes, no buttons. That's fine.
But I thought it was cool. It's like multiple different ways to say yes and no. So every time you hit it, it's a random.
So it's like the Trump thing.
Yeah.
But not Trump. Thank God.
Exactly.
Thank you.
I thought it'd be fun to use with the kids too. Like when they ask, can we do something?
That reminds me. I'm glad you mentioned that, and it triggered this memory because I would have forgotten it because I did forget it. So we're driving we went to a couple of local holiday things. And our son said something about the shirts that we had on were from a movie. Quotes.
Oh, yeah.
And he said something about like describing the movie, and it reminded me, like, I don't want to give too much away,
right,
but because we're going to use it. But it reminded me of there's a video game podcast that I started listening to where they do they make their guest try to guess the video game based on someone describing the video game that doesn't play video games. Right? So like dude's girlfriend or whatever watches the thing, and like we've been playing Legend of Zelda, right? And there's the very first thing I thought when you wake up in the cave and you've got this, it's an iPad. It's a phone.
It's an iPad.
And it's an iPhone, and you pop the phone into this little base and it clicks and whizzes and whirs and lights up and it data drops. Yeah. It's a phone. It's the shape of a phone. It's an iPhone. Mm-hmm. And so anyway, like the description of that game would be something like, you wake up and check your iPhone. And, it was just like, but you wouldn't think like that Zelda right away. You would think, like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
This is a terrible description. So anyway, I think we're going to have him watch some Christmas movies.
Yeah.
And then we'll write down his descriptions of them. And then we'll have some people come on and maybe try to guess them. I think it'd be fun.
I think it'd be really fun.
So, okay, well, it's your turn. Let me move this over here. All right. Now,
Jesus.
It's not wrapped. I mean, it's wrapped, but it's not like it's a box set down on the table. So.
Oh, now it all makes sense. Pre-show, she's like, close your eyes, and I
need to
felt
do something.
The box like rub my face.
The first thing I did was I said, I don't trust you, and I went like this. That's what you felt.
Oh well, okay.
Not that anyone could see that because there's a giant fucking box in the way. Okay. Lift straight up.
See, I told you I got you a shitty gift.
No, you didn't. Now listen.
You're so bad. I hate you.
Oh. It's all right. You'll get me back. It's all good.
Fuck.
Now, the timing of this, for those of you who do listen regularly, well, I guess first of all, you'd have to be on the show, like on the stream, watching the video to get it. But we talked about this last week, and I had already ordered it when you talked about it on the show, because I knew that this was a thing that was important to you from your childhood, that was positive memories of Christmas. And I saw an ad for them at Aldi, which we have right across the street, and it was like, oh, they're still going to offer these at this sale price, whatever. And I think that was when you guys were leaving for you guys were going to be gone. I think. I don't fucking remember. But anyway, I was like, oh, I'm going to go to Aldi and get one of those. And I was like, fuck no, I'm not. I'm going to Amazon that shit. And I found a bigger one than you would have gotten had I gone to Aldi. So
thank you.
You're welcome. I like it. It'll go nicely at our Christmas party on the centerpiece on the table.
Jerk. Make me cry.
Well, now I can change the camera setting back.
What kind of batteries does this take?
AA.
Okay. At least you put batteries in it.
Yes. So that's pre-show. That's the wrong direction. Pre-show, I was flipping the switch to turn it on because I had forgotten all about it that I was going to do that.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So let's we've got some topics that we want to talk about. Nothing real, earth-shattering, real crazy. I did want to mention though, Renee Auberjonois passed away today at 70s.
I saw that.
Something. Odo from
79, 78?
79, I think. Odo from Star Trek Deep Space Nine. Love him. He was in all kinds of good, he played some really good roles over the years. Just a really good actor, and that's sad.
Yeah.
So anyway, we went to a couple local things that we had not talked about on the show yet. We went to the Christmas parade, and we.
Did we?
For those of you who may not have caught, there was I guess I live streamed that on my personal Facebook, but so there was it's the Havendale Christmas Parade. It's Winter Haven and Auburndale. There's a stretch of highway between them that's called Havendale Boulevard. Havendale Boulevard is a 3x3 6-lane divided highway.
Yes.
And I thought to myself, wow, how are they going to have a parade on a 6-lane divided highway?
I thought, well, that's a really big parade.
Yeah, that'll be...
That's what I thought.
Anybody want a dog for Christmas? So we had never been before. We'd never been to any of the Christmas parades around here, but all the little small towns do them. We were going to go to the Lakeland one, but all of the feedback that I saw was like, oh, it's just really slam-ass busy.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to park. There's nowhere to sit. And then looking at some pictures later, it was like, maybe that wasn't necessarily for this year. So instead, we went to this one. Now, this one steps off at this little shopping plaza thing. And I've been... I'm from the small town Midwest. I've been in parades, right?
Right.
I marched in every parade there was.
Yeah.
And so the logistics of organizing the floats and the bands and the groups and then in the pre-parade.
Your
step
dog
off.
wants you.
She's crying at you.
She won't let me pick her up.
You're gonna have to move so I can pick her up.
All right.
So anyway, they had all of the floats staged in this little shopping plaza, and we were parked not too far from the shopping plaza. We turned down the road. They closed the road off at 6, and it started at 7. So we turned down that road 15 minutes before they were going to close it. Found a spot right on the side of the road, jumped the curb, parked with everybody else, right on the road. It's perfect.
Yep.
And then they came out and started lining floats up, and they brought out a truck with some cones in it and created a taper in the lane that we were sitting next to. So then what they did was they brought all of the entries out into both lanes. What is that road? East and west? east and west. We'll call it. You don't know any different. There's no visuals
Watch, you're gonna get some
associated.
hate mail from
Fine.
locals.
So in the eastbound and the westbound lanes, they were lining people up. So from where we were sitting before the taper, it was like two parades, one like here in our foreground and one behind them in the background. And we got to see half of it because of that.
How? Your antler just
Haven't
poked my eye out.
Haven't poked you with my antler in a long time.
And not in the eye.
So
that's grounds for divorce.
it was it was an interesting experience, I guess, is the takeaway was like it was just really weird the way they did it. And had we been sitting, another few hundred yards down, like, so then everything tapered over into the whatever eastbound lane. So then from the taper down into the parade route, people were sitting out on the median because that side of the road was closed off, and they shifted all of the floats to the other side. So anyway, it was fun. We got to see, it was fun. The kids had a good time. And then last night we went to Glitter, Glisten, and Snow, which is the thing they do here in Haines City at the park.
Yeah.
And it seemed to me like there were far fewer people there this year than the years previous. It seemed like there were half the vendors and food trucks.
Yeah.
Like not nearly as many of those. So I don't know what that was all about. But it was good. They did not have the ice slide that they normally have.
That was a little
That was
disappointing.
disappointing. Yeah.
They had like all these inflatables, which was annoying because kids.
Yeah, exactly.
Inflatables. Like at least with the ice slide, the line was really long all the time, so you knew the expectation was kids, you get to go one time.
Yeah. And we found out, like, after you left, he stopped and asked one of the guys running the bounce. So they had 2 bounce houses, too.
Yeah.
And the way they were doing it was they were letting them go in groups and then for a certain length of time and then making them get out. And so he asked, how long do you get to go in? 2 minutes.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
Right? Bullshit.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
You picked the right thing
So
than going down
he
the
did
slides.
the slide again. Yeah. Because, like, really?
Yeah. I mean, well, they did have, instead of the snow tubes, they had ice skating.
Yeah, I didn't
over in the other corner.
See anybody doing it, and we didn't really go back over there to check. But
but
it looked kind of like a
seemed
dud.
weird to me. Like you get to skate for probably less than 5 minutes.
Yeah, and it wasn't.
And then it was a tiny little thing.
And like they when I heard him announce it, it wasn't actually like ice. It was like some
synthetic something.
thing. Yeah, right.
They had like the PVC pipe built like things for the little ones to help them stabilize themselves. But I just thought that's really weird though, because you got to put skates on. Nobody here is going to bring their own skates. It's Florida. It's not like anybody, like, unless you're into that, you don't own ice skates.
Right.
So I just didn't think it was going to go over well. Our favorite food truck that we go to every year wasn't there. That was a disappointment.
Disappointing. And
the food truck that we went to was their first year there. You could tell they had no idea what they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
Just crazy. Like they were nice people, but I felt bad for them because they just have no idea.
Yeah.
and
the food wasn't bad.
The food was okay.
It was good.
The food was really good, but like they take your order, they take your name, and then they call your name, and you're supposed to call your name and give you your order. Well, I gave them my name. I put my order in. I was standing there. The guy in the truck that was cooking the food called my name. So I was waiting to hear the other guy that pulled the food from the truck call my name, and he didn't. He just turned around and he tried to hand it to the lady standing right over there on the opposite side where I was, and she was like, "That's not what I ordered." And so he turned around and told the kitchen, "This isn't what Becca ordered." And the kitchen is like, "No, this is Becca's slip. That is what Becca ordered."
You just weren't giving it to Becca.
Right.
And
then I went and I said, "Hi, I'm Becca. That's my sandwich. Are you Becca?" And she goes, "No, I'm whatever." And her name didn't even start with a B.
Right.
I was like, close. "Oh man, guys, come on."
Yeah.
I mean,
so anyway, so it was a good time, and funny story. So one of the little ones, pre-K friends, was in line behind us to see Santa.
That was cool.
And I didn't even recognize them because I'm not engaged in all of that. Like I've dropped her off at school a number of times. This is a funny story. I've dropped her off at school a number of times. You know, she goes in the afternoon only, and so I've interacted with these, you know, a lot of these people before, but you know, me half asleep in the middle of the day and me at night, like.
It's different.
It's just different. And I didn't recognize them. And then, but I heard her say the baby's name, the little one's name. And I was like, oh, that's weird. And then you came walking up and you're like, oh my God, hi. And I was like, oh, I feel stupid. No. Okay. Yes, I do know you.
That is so funny.
Yep.
Oh my God. How long were they in line?
Not very long.
Because I had to run to the bathroom.
Yeah, it wasn't long.
And we had just gotten in the line. And when I come back, they're like behind us in line, and I see the little one, and I'm like, oh, and they got their little.
Oh, so funny.
They have their oldest is our youngest's age, and then they have another one. So they had the double stroller.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, man, you're screwed now because she's not going to want to stay in the stroller. She's going to get out and play with our kids because they're friends and they're buddies.
They go to school
and
together.
then the little one's going to want to get out, and I felt so bad. And
but
then
I
was
fine.
And then I went and bought our kids stuff from the
from the junk tent.
And then I felt bad afterwards. I thought I shouldn't have done that, or I should have bought everybody something.
Waited until we weren't together. But the best part of the whole thing was we went and saw Santa, and that's a whatever. But I want to loop back to Santa for a minute. But then our son has a friend who he's been in the same class with every year up until this year, basically.
First grade until first year, yeah.
Yeah, and so, it was a bad deal when they weren't in the same class this year.
He was heartbroken.
And she was too. And she's just like his little protector and
cheer
takes
squad.
Care of her.
Like
takes care of him. And
if he's having a bad day, she will be the one to solve
turn it
the
around.
problem.
Right. Yeah.
And I've said that many times to her mom. Like, I just need her to just be his therapist.
Right. They
or
just
something.
need to stay together.
Yeah.
They just need to be besties for the rest of life.
Anyway.
She's in a dance group and they were performing. And so he, who has zero interest in dance, other than dances that, you do on that stupid game they play.
I just they were saying all the announcements and I thought, oh, I wonder if she's performing tonight. And so I texted Mom, hey, are they going to do anything tonight? Yeah, they're doing this. This is the time. This is what they're. Oh, okay, cool. Well, we're in line for Santa. We'll try and get over there. And it just happened that we finished Santa.
Right.
Just 5-10 minutes before. Yeah. So we were able to kind of scoot around over to the stage.
Yeah. And so then he went and sat in the grass up in front of the stage, but it wasn't in the middle.
Was he mad about that?
Oh yeah. When we were the place where we first sat down, he was just like, over. And so I was like, okay, you go ahead and sit. And then after that group finished and then a bunch of people got up and left, that's when we moved over. And so we all sat together in the middle. He wanted to be up front and center. He did not want to miss her.
Well, when he heard me say that, he was like, "Oh, can we go?"
Yeah.
And so then he got it in his head.
I think we were all like, "What?"
Yeah, I was a little surprised.
This is the ADHD kid who never wants to sit and watch anything longer unless it's a YouTube video. You know what I mean?
I wanted to go because I wanted the little one to watch that kind of stuff because I'm thinking about putting her in dance, and her friend that was there is in dance.
Yeah.
And so I was like, that would be a cool thing for the little one to watch. I didn't expect him to get all into it, but
it was good. It was a really good.
They did a good.
Yeah.
It was cute.
So back to Santa.
Yeah.
I know I've said this the last couple of years, but I keep feeling like we're almost there. There was some conversation to be had that night. Mm-hmm. We're in line, and we're talking about if Santa's real and how do you know and all of this stuff. And our kid is far too advanced because we're talking about like standards of evidence and what kind of test would you employ to find? And he's like, well, I would just test his DNA. I'm like, okay, buddy, you're 9. You don't have access to that equipment. try again.
Oh my God, I love him.
Right? Like, our 9-year-old is, gloved up, taking cookies off the plate, scraping saliva off the cookie to go run it through a fucking machine to see if it's Santa Claus. Okay, that's our kid.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, no, think something like not that. Something a little more within your reach at the moment.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my God.
And you go send a cookie to 23andMe. And
it'll come back and it'll say, Santa is your father. Oh, crap.
Wait a minute. So, we talked about Neil deGrasse Tyson has told the story about his daughter, and his daughter is niece. I don't know. Anyway, about the tooth fairy and how they figured out that, the truth about the tooth fairy.
Right.
And he said, what I did was I told her, like, look, I don't know. I've never seen a tooth fairy. I don't know for sure. But I've heard that if you lose a tooth and you put it under your pillow at night, then the tooth fairy will come and give you a quarter. That's what I've heard. Or money or whatever, however you said it. And so this kid on her own, smart as a whip, decided to run an experiment. Lost a tooth at school. Didn't tell anybody. That night, tooth didn't disappear from under the pillow.
Mm-hmm.
The next night, the tooth didn't disappear from under the pillow. Kid tells the parents, hey, I lost a tooth at school. Puts a tooth under the pillow. Next morning, tooth's gone.
Right.
Makes the connection. It's not the tooth fairy.
Right.
It's my parents.
Yeah.
Right. So, so we kind of talked. I didn't tell him that whole full, like, oh, the tooth fairy's not real, and here's how, but like, here is one thing that somebody has done to test. So I don't know if he's given that any more thought or what his, I don't know where he's at on it, but he said something about somebody on the bus said Santa's not real.
Yeah, he said that to me before, like maybe last week sometime, and I said to him, well, what do you think?
That's exactly what I said. Yeah.
And we kind of went through, but he was like, well, I don't know. I need to think about it.
Yep.
But okay, so this kind of ties into what happened today.
Okay.
So this morning, before you got home,
yes,
I was laying in bed and he was still asleep. The little one woke up and she comes running into our room.
Oh God, yes, this was on my list of things for you to talk about. It's so good.
Mommy, the elf is on the floor. And I'm in my slumber. I'm like, what? Elf is on the floor. And then I'm like, oh, fuck. So I go out and I see the elf on the floor and I looked at her and I said, shh, I'll take care of it. I think it's okay. Scoop the elf up, put it back up on the TV stand where it lived. It was like, there's like gifts on top of the TV stand. And so I just set them up there. That's where they hung out last night. We have 2 of them. One of them fell.
Yep.
Okay, fine. All good. So then I go back to bed because I'm tired. He gets up. He goes out there to play video games. At some point, she tells him, Mommy picked up the elf. He comes in. He says, hey, he said that you picked up the elf. So I just pretended to still be asleep because I'm like, I'm not doing this right now. I kind of feel bad about the way I handled it, but I like, whatever. I was like, what? You know how she's always telling stories. She's probably just making it up. And then I said, maybe she had a dream. I don't know. Go ask her if she had a dream. And he left and he said, did you have a dream about the elf? Yeah. But they don't always make sense. So just let it go. All right, fine. So then, if that wasn't enough for one day, I had more presents to wrap and I was kind of shoving them all up on the top of the TV stand because I don't want to put on the floor where the dog will eat them.
We don't know if the dog will get into them or not.
So right now they just live on the top of the TV stand until it's time to put them down under the tree. And so I was pushing them up there and I was trying to be very careful not to put anything anywhere near either of the elves. And I thought I got away with it. And then I finished doing that, and I'm going to lay down on the couch and close my eyes for a few minutes. I was starting to get an afternoon headache. So I lay down, and I'm laying there for a few minutes, and I have my eyes closed. And all of a sudden, shrieking, screaming like he was being shot at or something. And then crying and sobbing, no.
I haven't heard this level of detail.
Oh, God, it was horrifying.
Oh, my God.
I felt so bad. I was like, we have ruined this child with this stupid fucking elf. And so I'm like, calm down. I like get up. I see the elf. It's basically laying on the floor exactly
where it had landed the first time. Right.
In the same position it landed the first time. And I was just like, I don't know what's going on with your elf. Like,
on one hand, it's real tempting to just be like, "Oh, calm the fuck down. You don't think like this actually like
right?
you touch the elf it dies thing is true, right?"
I said, "Calm down. We'll take care of it." But it touched my leg, and I'm like, "Oh fuck, you stupid fucking elf! Why can't you just stand up?" And this is what's going through my mind. Yeah. I am internally screaming at a toy.
Yep. Well, and that's the thing about the elf that like, don't do the elf. If I have any advice to new parents, don't, okay? Because here's the thing. All of the fun shit that I think of to do with the elf, you can't do because it involves the elf playing with their toys, and they're going to want to play with their toys, but you can't touch the elf to get the toy back during the day, and the elves can't move. It's such a big pain in the ass. The whole thing is a big pain in the ass.
And then the cool stuff that you want to do can either go over really well or terrify this child.
So was that the first year?
No.
First or second year? I don't remember. We were in the old house.
There was like, there's like a wall, like a alcove area. And it was like his room, the other room, and the bathroom. And the elf decided.
It's a lot like it is now, but the opening was narrower.
Smaller. It was like a doorway-sized opening. So the elf decided she was going to do like Christmas lights and create
a trap. Like a spider web of Christmas lights in the doorways.
Well, our child is like 2 or 3 years old.
It was funny.
It was hilarious. It was funny because he freaked out. He comes out of his room in the middle of the night and the lights are on because obviously we're like, turn the lights on. And the elf is sitting in there like this. And he just starts screaming bloody murder. And he still talks
about it. Yeah.
How the elf better never do that to my sister.
Mm-hmm. Like, which sucks because I want to do it now.
And she would probably love it. Anyway, so he's sobbing uncontrollably. It touched my leg. What are we gonna do? Oh my God. I'm feeling horrible, and I'm like, So I'm like, you know what? I read somewhere that if it doesn't touch your hands and it's not an intentional like touch, everything will be okay. And I tried to avoid saying like anything about magic or anything. I just kept saying everything's gonna be fine.
Yep.
Let me go get the pot holders because then I won't have to touch her. And I went and got the pot holder mitt and the glove, and I'm like, okay, we're just going to do this and this and this, and we're going to put her up there, and you're going to stay there, you little motherfucker. And he thought that was funny because I actually said that.
Of course you did.
Oh my God. I just felt so bad though. And then he just sat on the couch next to me.
Like, who knew that our kid was going to be so emotionally invested in stuff?
Like that.
Like that. Yeah.
So like that kind of thing, like, I'm like, oh, he's really attached to this freaking elf.
Yeah.
But then he cried about it, and I said, I think it's going to be fine. It looks okay. We'll worry about it tomorrow. We'll see what happens. And, no big deal. Everything's going to be okay.
Right.
You didn't touch her. You didn't make her fall. Intent is a lot. like trying to be like, it was an accident, and I am sure. So I don't know. So then another thing that was happening today after that, which was hilarious, was the little one. We have these little elf and Santa and reindeer hats and stuff. The little one got the elf hat on, and she was walking around, and she goes, I am an elf. You can't touch me. And I'm like, you are an elf and you need to get in the bath right fucking now. And I will touch you.
Oh my God.
It's hilarious.
Oh, so funny.
Yeah.
So anyway, I've got some news stories I want to talk about. We're at just over 30. Do you want to take a break?
Sure.
I need to do something with the dog. To get her the fuck out of here, or give her something to, so she won't do this, because it's driving me bonkers. So let's do that. Let's take a break, and we'll come back, and then I have some news stories I want to talk about. We got some things going on in the political world, and we're gonna kick off the war on Christmas. So get your Starbucks cups ready, kids. We'll be back after this. You're listening to Sarah Talk.
You let Jesus into your heart. Now it's time to bring him into your home with Flat Jesus. Take photos of Flat Jesus in questionable situations and share with the hashtag FlatJesus. Flat Jesus comes in 4 fun styles. Color your own Jesus, historically accurate brown Jesus, TSA approved white Jesus, and everybody's favorite, white Republican Jesus with American flag, assault rifle, and bald eagle accessories. But don't wait, apostates. Download your very own Flat Jesus right now at SarahTalk.com/Jesus. That's SarahTalk.com/Jesus now for your free Flat Jesus. The Bible says the earth is flat. Maybe Jesus was too.
Hello, my friends. This is Sister Mary Atheist of the Church of Religious Avoidance down here in Bumblefuck, Alabama. Now, my friends, my people, my brothers and sisters, do you feel lost? Do you feel that swelling urge to be a part of something better? Well, let the word of Sarah Talk help you. If you've never known the word Sarah Talk, learn it, live it, love it. Can I get an amen? No? Good, 'cause we don't do that shit round here. My friends, we must all remember that the good word of Sarah Talk doesn't happen for free. So get yourself over to patreon.com/SarahTalk and help us spread the word. Plant that seed and help it grow into secular, peer-reviewed empirical evidence for the good of all. In the name of the Sarah, the Becca, and the science-based podcast, amen, hallelujah, and holy shit.
Sarah Talk is horrible.
These are tough people.
They prey on the vulnerable. They hurt women and children. They spread human misery and suffering. I tell you what, Sarah Talk should be ashamed of itself. Sarah, you are a rude, terrible person. The way you treat Donald Trump is horrible. And the way you treat other people are horrible. You shouldn't treat people that way. Honestly, I think you should let me run the country. You run Sarah Talk. And if you did it well, your ratings would be much better.
Are you worried?
That's enough. That's enough. That's enough. That's enough. That's enough. Put down the mic.
Welcome back to Sarah Talk. Thank you, Mr. President, I think.
Maybe.
Yeah. So we are just a few weeks to Christmas. It's December 8th on this particular recording. And of course, we're gearing up for the election. We're watching that stuff still. Gearing up for impeachment, too. And I got to tell you, it's so difficult for me. Like, when I worked in talk radio, the benefit of my role in talk radio was that I wasn't solely responsible for 3 hours of airtime 5 days a week. And I wasn't solely responsible for staying on top of all of the information and stories and things that were happening. I was the producer. Mm-hmm. I wasn't the host. So I was there for input and comic relief, and now that I'm like trying to juggle all of the things that are happening, I don't know how that man did it. And I kind of understand why he was a dick now. But like...
Does that mean you're going to start being a dick to me?
No.
You better not. I'll stab your eyeball
but
out with the star of my new tree.
I do hear some. It comes out. I do hear some podcasters like talk shit about their producers, and I'm like, wow, that brings me right back because that's exactly what my host did to me when I was a producer in radio. Talk shit about me. Anyway, so there's all of this impeachment stuff, and it's just there's so much shit happening, and it's too much to keep track of. And I don't want this to be the impeachment show, So I mean, you could listen to NPR. Like I could, we could talk about this every day for a week for an hour a day, and still not cover all of the things that are happening. And so I don't know. I feel like there are some people that are wanting to hear our thoughts on how that's going and what we think, but also like this ain't the news, and I just can't keep up with it all. Like, so now Pelosi has directed formal articles of impeachment to be written. Last I heard, there wasn't a lot of detail on timeline and how all of that kind of stuff, but it was be prepared to work during the break, at least a couple of days. And so, we'll see what's going to happen with that. But if you're looking for like what my opinion is on it, I think we're doing the right thing. I think for a couple of reasons, and we've talked about this before. But if it is true, if we want it to be true that a president should not be above the law, then we have to do this now, right? Remember back when this was first starting and we were like, oh, Pelosi's balking because she's afraid of the political ramifications. Like, if we go after Trump now, then in 2020, he's going to trounce us because it's going to inflame his supporters and it's going to have political consequences. Okay, well, it's going to have political consequences in the next 4 to 8 years, but what are the long-term consequences of us saying, well, you know what? Obstructing Congress, obstructing justice, back dealings with foreign countries to get dirt on political rivals. Like, that's all fine because we want to make sure we don't get fucked over on the next election. That's a message I don't want to send.
Yeah.
Like if we're going to have any values at all of what this country is about and should be, and what we hold important, then I think that's one of them, and that is, yes, the Senate is not going to do anything because unless some miracle happens in the timeline. First, the timing would have to line up, and the election would have to fall a certain way. But the Senate that we have currently today, I mean, McConnell might just go, we're not even going to talk about that.
Right.
We're not going to do it.
Yeah.
The end. And then it's done.
Yeah.
But even if that happens, then you vote the motherfucker out, right? Or he gets reelected, and then in 4 years he's done. And then we try to salvage what's left of the democracy, right? But you have to do it because not doing it sends a very strong message to every potential future president that no, you really can just do whatever the fuck you want, and nobody cares. We have to care.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at on the whole thing. Like I expect that the House will do all of the things and write all the things and push to impeach, and then it'll hit the ball over to the Senate, and the Senate will go, nah, and that'll be the end of it.
Right.
That's what I'm expecting. I would be surprised if there are enough Republicans that will switch over and say, no, you know what? We have values too, and I'm going to put country above party.
Yeah, I don't even know where I fall on that because I just don't. I don't know that I'd be surprised, but I'm not going to hold my breath.
Right. No, I don't think there are enough Justin Amashas out there that will.
I know there are a few, but is there enough that?
Because again, they're weighing, I have a re-election coming up.
Right.
Or what's my future if I get voted out?
The president, it's like their own careers are going to be on the line, and
which again brings me back to like the whole idea of this thing, of a representative republic, was that the people who there was a great meme that goes around every once in a while. It's like, don't talk about these people as your leaders. They're not your leaders. They're your representatives. They are of you,
Right.
not over you. And so the idea from jump was that some would come from the people to represent the people and then go back to being the people.
Right.
At the end of that term. So the idea, they went to George Washington and said, hey, you should just be president all the time. And he was like, yeah, we left monarchies for, like, I don't want to be the fucking king. That's not the point. That's not what we're doing here.
Right.
What we're doing here is something very, very different. And so, no, I don't want to be like the president forever and ever. Amen. So the fact that these people are, the word career politician gets thrown around a lot. And I don't know, there's a couple of different ways I think you could break that down. There's the way my dad might break it down, and then there's the way I look at it, which is to say that, even in places where there are term limits, you'll have somebody who will run as a state representative and then maybe the Senate. And once their term limit, because a lot of places have term limits, and once they're limited, then they'll run for the Senate. And then maybe they'll run for U.S. Congress, and then maybe some other things. And politics in general will be their career path. And I'm okay with that, because we should have people who understand how politics works doing the role of politics.
Right.
So I'm okay with that to a point. Term limits have positive and negatives when it comes to that. But the problem that I think I have most of all is that when all of those options are exhausted, then these people go to become lobbyists. And they make fuck tons of money working for oil companies because they know how the system works from the inside. And they can go in and talk to the newly elected Congress and push all the right buttons and get all the things done. And that's the smarmy, swampy shit that I don't like about our government. But anyway, I'm off on a tangent. So then there's so that's impeachment and all of the things that are going on with that. Then there's the election. So we have the primary coming up. It won't be long. And we're still sort of watching as that's going. Kamala Harris dropped out recently.
Bye, Felicia.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of which, did you enjoy the new intro clips? I pulled some old ones, but I wanted to mix it up and make it.
I enjoyed it until fucking Alex Jones came back on, and I was like, seriously, Sarah?
I did that because I know how much you like it.
No, I don't think that's why you did it. I don't think that's why you did it at all. I think you're just trying to fuck with people.
Whatever. Maybe a little bit. Anywho, yes. So Maria, Sesame Street's Maria has now dropped out. I was also listening to, I think this was on an NPR thing that I was listening to on my way home. What?
Can we get like the actual Maria to go on Saturday Night Live and give a Kamala Harris?
Oh my God.
Like spin on like how to make Sesame Street better?
Yes. Yes, that's great.
Healthcare for all Muppets. Like,
oh my God, that's so great. Wow. Make that happen.
I would if I knew the right people, but I don't.
So anyway, so I was listening to, I think it was an NPR, probably Up First or something, NPR Politics. We're talking about for the next debate. So you've Kamala Harris dropped out. Cory Booker has not qualified for the next debate yet, which means that the next debate is very white. All white, as a matter of fact.
No. Elizabeth Warren is not white.
Oh God. 1/18 of 1/3. Yeah. But I don't know how I feel about that, because it's one of those things. This isn't the system keeping the people down. You know what I mean? Like, Harris chose to drop out of the race. A good decision on her part, I think. And as I commented online in a topic about this, I think the idea of having 16 people run for a party is a little absurd. And we kind of joked about that in 2016 with all the Republicans that were running. But what I expect to happen in that situation is I expect there to be 3 or 4 that sort of quickly rise to the top of the pile and sort of stay there. And those are your serious contenders. And then everyone else is either jockeying for a cabinet position or to bring awareness and raise the social consciousness of an issue like Andrew Yang is doing with universal basic income. He has no chance of winning the presidency.
Right.
But we are all talking about universal basic income in a way that we haven't talked about it before.
Is he qualified for the primary?
I believe,
or
I don't
for the
know.
next debate?
I don't know. I haven't looked.
Because he's not white.
Right. Anyway. I don't know.
But like, I don't know that I don't.
I mean, if Cory Booker hasn't qualified,
I don't know where I fall on that. Yes, I think we need people in places of power that represent everybody.
yes.
However, if it's not in this pot, it's not in this pot. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I don't know that. I don't think Cory Booker is going to make a great president. So is it just a waste of time for him to
keep going?
Well,
and I think that's what.
Same thing with Kamala. Like,
yeah.
I don't like, like we had Barack Obama. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Oh, okay. Who, like that was a huge thing for minorities in general.
Right.
He was very eloquent in his speaking. He was just a good representation of what a minority could do in that role.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see that in anybody who's come forward yet.
Here are the people who have, as of 6 days ago, according to the Washington Post, qualified for, so December 3rd, these are the people who've qualified for the December debate. Joe Biden, God. Pete Buttigieg, Amy Klobuchar, Bernie Sanders, Tom Steyer, and Liz Warren. And that's it. No Cory Booker, no Tulsi Gabbard, no Yang, no Harris dropped out, no Castro.
I mean,
because with each debate, the bar gets a little higher.
Right.
You have to raise a little bit more money. You have to,
you
have to meet higher thresholds to get into the debates. So it's designed to sort of weed people out, as you go. But here's the thing. Here's the reasonable people that have stepped down: Harris, Beto, Bill de Blasio, Kirsten Gillibrand, Hickenlooper, Inslee, Ryan, Swalwell, and Bullock. And so these are the people who very quickly realized, most of them, other than Beto and
I ain't got a
Harris.
hat in this.
Yeah, like this ain't, I'm out.
Yeah.
Right. Early on. Still hanging in and haven't qualified for a debate since July. Batshit crazy Marianne Williamson.
That just makes no sense to me. You can't even qualify for a debate. What makes you think you have any chance at this?
She has the spirits.
But you don't have a platform.
Sure she does. She's the fucking Oprah Winfrey Show as her platform.
Oprah Winfrey has been off the air for years. What the fuck?
Magazine, whatever. Network, network. Whatever.
Okay.
Anyway,
1% of the population.
Why are you still holding on? Seriously,
right? Like it's just
time.
Go do something with your life.
Right. So of those 6, let's do that again. So we got Biden, Mayor Pete, Amy Klobuchar. You trying to say that again?
Klobuchar.
Sanders,
Yogi
Steyer, and Warren. 1 through 6. Who do you like? If you had to rank them, I'll do mine too.
Oh shit.
You don't have to write it down.
Reels?
Yeah, like if you had to vote from those 6 today, ranked voting, ranked choice, what would they be in order? This will be interesting. We haven't really talked about this.
No.
So it'll be interesting to see like where we are, where we agree, where we disagree. Okay, so again, Biden, Pete, Klobuchar, Sanders, Steyer, and Warren. God, the bottom 3 is the hardest for me because
really, I'm having a hard time anything after the top 2. Because all those fuckers can just go away.
Okay, so start eliminating. Let's do an elimination round. Go from the bottom. Who's your least favorite? Who would you get rid of today?
Biden.
Yep, me too. And then Steyer.
Yeah. and then Klobuchar.
Okay. All right. So
I just can't stand her weird. Okay.
Oh, who is it that plays her on SNL? That's really funny. That does the bangs that are.
I don't know her name, but I can see her.
Yeah.
She was in that show. She was. Was it her? It might not have been her. I don't know. Anyway. But yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So then your top 3. Do you want to go 1, 2, 3 or 3, 2, 1?
1, 2, 3.
1. Who's the first? Who's your number 1 pick?
Warren.
Me too. Interesting. Number 2?
Sanders.
Yep. Okay. Well, we are.
I don't know why there was any doubt.
I didn't know if maybe because depending on what's like there have been times when I have been like, if I had to pick today between Liz Warren and Bernie Sanders,
that's a hard call.
Who would I really want? I want one of them to be president and one of them to be vice president is what I really want.
Yeah, that would be my dream ticket right there, right now.
Right now. But
if you look at the field, that's where it is. And Pete can be like Speaker of the House.
Yeah.
I think he'd be okay in that role. I mean, I don't know that he would.
He would have to run for that office for a House of Representatives and get elected for that, which he's not running for. That's not how that works.
Whatever.
But no,
so saying.
One of the things that I said, hold on.
I don't dislike him. I just don't like him for the role of president.
Yeah, and the only thing that I really don't like about him is the way that he has moved to the center, trying to take over Joe Biden's slipping numbers.
Yes, but he's still better than everybody else that we eliminated before.
Yes, and again, I guess, God damn it, I should say this every time because I always get somebody commenting or emailing. The official position of the SarahTalk podcast is that whoever, even if batshit crazy Marianne Williamson gets the nomination, I will vote for her.
Right.
Duh. Like if you, the people who comment and message about like, well, but if you don't like this person, you don't listen to the show. How many times have I said, I'll vote for whoever gets the nomination because a pet rock would be better than Donald Trump.
Yeah.
A crusty old jizzy gym sock would be better than Donald Trump.
Well, and clearly the people that are sending those messages either aren't retaining the fact that you've said that 10,000 times in the last 100 and however many episodes that this idiot's been in the White House, I
don't think they listen. I think they just follow us on Facebook and not listen.
They're not actually. We get a lot of that, and that is so irritating.
Yeah, it's really
So,
frustrating.
like, if you're not going to listen to the show, don't think you have any right to talk about.
Right, our Facebook page is not what we do. This is what we do, and that is an accessory. Anyway,
right? Yeah. Whatever. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, so but I was looking through like this conversation that I had online. When you look at Kamala Harris dropping out and what I said about, angling for different positions, I can see her pushing for attorney general.
Oh, sure.
Right. She is the, what did I call her? She was the prosecutorial candidate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. I could see Andrew Yang should be in charge of something that has to do with finance, money, economy, something.
Yeah.
Whether that's.
I think most of these people like definitely have a handle on what the political climate is and what it should be.
Right. Wasn't Castro HUD for Obama? Isn't that what he did? He was housing urban development. But yeah, anyway, you can go down through this list, and for the ones who are still sort of serious contenders, but they're definitely not going to get the nomination. I think for those, you can kind of see where their skill set and talent and interest might be when it comes to appointing cabinet members.
Where they'll land.
Right.
At the end of all of this.
Right. And in a way, they're competing for vice president nominations as well.
I do like that for the most part, what I've seen in the debates is they are very unified. They're all like, and I don't know if it's a front. For the most part, it looks genuine. Mm-hmm. But they've all, they're all like, it doesn't matter which, we just gotta get that mango out of the.
You need to watch more of the debate.
Do I need to watch more of it?
Yeah. I mean, the 12 minutes we got through with our kid the other night was not enough.
I know, it was just the beginning.
No, they have divided off in progressive and centrist, moderate
I know that,
camps.
But I mean, in
and what's interesting is Booker has been the one to be like, guys, come back to the table. We're all one big family. We're, just because we, some of us want to do healthcare this way and some of us want to do it the other way. The goal is for everyone to have healthcare. He has been sort of the,
peacemaker.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting if he's not at the next debate, what that might look like.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's
anyway,
weird.
Let's move on. I'm tired of talking about this already.
Me too. Oh, you know what? I did want to ask you, did you have any thoughts on whether or not Home Depot and Lowe's are going to see a rise in the sale of plumbing parts to fix toilets?
I don't know. The only thing I thought about when that story came through was like, when people talk about government spending in a negative way, it's always like, oh, well, it's because they're spending all this money on gold-plated toilet seats and all kinds of garbage nonsense like that. Like when, when my dads of the world talk about
boomers.
Like taking my money and you taking all my tax money and spending it on shit we don't need to spend it on. Yeah, you're spending it on the military is the shit we don't need to be spending it on.
Yeah.
You spend way too much fucking money on the military. It's not toilets, okay?
Yeah.
But yeah, Trump has no idea what pressure flush.
This stuff comes from the sky and they don't know what to do with it. It's called rain.
Fucking idiot.
Somebody needs to get the man a roll of gold-plated duct tape and just seal him up.
But what he's good at that you can't really disagree with is he's good at going on Twitter or Chopper Talk and saying some dumb, ridiculous, stupid shit like toilets. And now we're all talking about it.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about serious things that matter.
It's a deflection.
Yeah. And it's, let me, before you don't send emails, let me go back and repair that because I'm not suggesting that that's not he's an idiot and that's serious, right? But if we spend all of our time on every little, fucking tweet that he sends out, he's a schoolyard bully. Ignore him.
Mm-hmm.
He's the dude bro yelling across the street, "Hey, mommy."
Yeah.
Fucking ignore him.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you turn to him and go, "Hey, shut the fuck up, you piece of shit," burr, 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 now all of a sudden he's getting the attention he wants and we're all talking about it and it's all over the 24-hour news cycle. Just ignore his stupid. Ignore it.
That's true.
Local news. Speaking of douchebag dude bros.
Are we going to talk about this douchebag?
Well, no, let's talk about this one first.
Oh, jeez. There's more than one.
Well, this is a story. We talk about this from time to time, too. The difference in the way we look at these stories based on the gender of the people involved. So this is a story that released in the Ledger December 4th. Florida special education teacher allegedly had a sexual relationship with one of her son's teenage friends for more than a year. Escambia County School District special education teacher allegedly had a sexual relationship. 40 years old, was arrested Monday on charges with lewd and lascivious behavior, sexual assault using a two-way communication device to facilitate a felony. She was booked into county jail. Tuesday, circuit court judge set bond at $150,000. Next court appearance scheduled December 26th. She resigned from her position as a learning resource specialist, according to the Escambia County School District Superintendent. Worked at the center as a learning resource specialist, basically a teacher who helps train other teachers, for the past 11 months. Before that, she was employed as a teacher at L.D. MacArthur Elementary School. In both roles, she'd worked with special education students and special education teachers. Teenager involved in this told the sheriff's office that he was 15 and when the teacher was 39 when the sexual relationship began. He estimated they had sex, quote, several hundred times at various locations, including her house, his home, her vehicle, and the beach, the report stated. She was his first and only sexual partner, and he believed himself to be in love with her. Told authorities the first time that they had sex was after he and this woman's son attended a football game and a party together, went back to the house and started drinking. After he was intoxicated, he tried to persuade the woman to have sex with him. She told him she knew it was wrong, but then eventually gave in, according to the report. And it just goes on and on and on. So I pulled this story because I thought, every time one of these things happens, what was your response? Be honest. I want you to be honest, because what was your response when I read just the headline, which was Florida teacher accused of having sex with son's teenage friend several hundred times?
I said, get it, boy.
Yep. And that's exactly how we think of it.
Well, yeah, but also,
I mean, I know there's nuance to your position, but that was the reason for pulling the story, was that often when the story is a male teacher with a female student, then it's the creepy predator stalker man who harmed my little girl. Yeah. And in this case, it was, way to go, buddy. You got you a hot MILF,
Right.
Like, we just look at it completely differently.
I mean, I think, my initial reaction is whatever it is.
Yeah.
But, knowing the story, he tried to seduce her. This wasn't he wasn't being groomed.
She shouldn't have gone along with it.
She shouldn't have. But you get to the point, even a 15-year-old boy should know better.
Right.
But at the same time, you're 15, your hormones are going crazy.
Sure, right.
So you need the adults in your life to...
Can I just say that I never, ever, ever, ever had, I can think of, a lot of the friends that I had in school, whose interests were always older women. And that just wasn't me. My interests were always, at my level. I was always interested in people who are around the same age as I was, even as a hormonal teenage person. I didn't understand this fascination with older women. I just didn't. I don't know. It's just a weird observation about my odd upbringing, my odd hormonal youth.
I don't
know. Let's be honest. I'm a little odd.
A little bit
to start with.
I don't know. My interests were always all over the place, but I do enjoy the silver foxes.
And the Seth Andrewses.
Oh, whatever.
Okay, on that note, hold a second.
Stop it.
No, hold a second.
Oh.
Yeah, literally, stop it. So the next story...
That's a hard cut for silver foxes, isn't it?
We'll be fine.
Sarah changing the subject.
No one will ever know unless you watch the video version. So the next story is a douchebag man. This is also from the Ledger, but it's the News Chief, which is it's fucking capitalism. These people own 4 million different newspapers, and
it's bullshit.
Anyway, Polk dad abandoned son because he thought child was gay. This is here in our town in Haines City. Haines City father told his juvenile son that the police would find him a new home, then left him by the side of Highway 27 with no food, water, or money because he thought the boy might be gay, according to police. 30-year-old left the boy outside the Haines City Police Department on Sunday when it was closed, which is like right around it's down the street from us. This is not even 5 minutes away.
I can get there in less than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It might be a 10-minute walk.
How do you pronounce this guy's name? Evanwald Julmius?
Evanon
Julmius. Arrest affidavit notes that the boy was upset and crying, no shit, and he was holding a small duffel bag with several items of clothing in it. Police say the boy told them that he and his father got into an argument over his sexual orientation. Julmius became very upset, according to police reports, and told his son to pack a bag and get into his vehicle. The boy packed a bag, got into the vehicle with his father, who told him he was taking him to the police department. Julmius stopped the car on Highway 27 in front of Haines City Police Department while in the turn lane, didn't even pull into the parking lot, ordered the boy to get out, telling his son police would find him a new home. After the boy got out of the car, Julmius did a U-turn and headed north on 27. He didn't notify police that the boy was there and left no one with the boy to look after him. Child didn't have a cell phone, so he couldn't call for help. A bystander saw the incident and pushed a button located on the outside of the police station to report what had just happened. After Julmius arrived home, the boy's mother got out of the shower to see Julmius had returned without their son. According to the arrest affidavit, he told the woman if she wanted to see the boy, he was at the police station. You just go on down to the police station, see your son. Police say that she left her other two children at home with Julmius and immediately went to the police station to get the boy. When police arrived at the home, they found that Julmius had fled, leaving the other two children home without an adult.
I didn't hear this part.
Julmius turned himself in on felony child neglect charges on Monday, faces 3 counts of negligent child abuse, all third-degree felonies. What the fuck? This is why we say, we just had a conversation about how desperate you are for the people that you love to know who you truly are. But sometimes you can't. Sometimes it's not safe to do that. Now, that wasn't in this article, but I'm pretty sure I read an article about the dad finding gay porn on the son's computer or something like that.
Something like that.
And lost his fucking mind.
Yeah.
And just my heart breaks for this kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how dare you bring a child into this world and then treat him like that?
Yeah.
How dare you?
There were the part about this whole thing that pissed me off was don't read the comment. Read the comments.
Never read the comments. No.
There was so much ignorant bullshit about, oh, it's perfectly legal to drop your kid off at the police station. There's a law that protects you from being charged for child abandonment or whatever. Yeah, that's like until they're 2 weeks old or whatever.
Yeah, right.
Right. The law is literally like if you give birth to a child
and you decide
you can't take care of it for whatever reason.
Yep.
But you have to turn that child over to a police officer. You can't just leave it on the side of the road next to the police station, and the child has to be 2 weeks old or younger.
Right.
But the ignorance and the people that were trying to justify what this guy did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. Fuck you, too.
I
just don't understand, as a parent, how when we knew we were going to have kids and we thought about what our lives might be like and what their lives might be like and what they might do one day, and your mind just races with all of these hopes and dreams. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But also I can't wait to see who this kid becomes.
Right.
I can't wait to see what kind of... I don't know what they're going to be into. We talked about before, too, with you're going to play football like your daddy did. Shut the fuck up. If your kid wants to be in dance, let them be in dance. If they want to be in theater, shut the fuck up, let them be in theater.
Yeah.
Right? Same thing here. If your kid decides they're gay, who are you?
Mm-hmm.
You don't deserve to have children if that's how you're going to be. Fuck you.
And, for stories like this, like, for all the hopes and dreams, for all of the things yet to be.
Yep.
As parents, we also have anxiety and worries and fears.
Yes.
About everybody out in the world not accepting our children for who they are.
Sure.
And where they come from.
These people.
And right? But then to top that off, these stories are common.
Mm-hmm.
And so I worry about the kids who have parents like us.
Yep.
Who are accepting.
Yep.
But they hear all these stories and then they get the anxiety
Yes.
and they get the worry and they think, well, I can't tell my mom or I can't tell my grandfather or whoever who I actually am because they might not accept me. And that worries me because I hope that's not our kid.
We try to live our lives though, like parenting and I think, I'm not as involved as you are, but in your interactions with your parent friends and their kids and our kids' friends, that like that idea of no, fuck it, you're our family, right? We talked about that last week. Like, I hope that they all get the impression that if anything were to happen, like, you can come here. Well, this is a safe place for you. I'm thinking of one in particular who, one of these kids that has got to be somewhere in the queer spectrum in a supportive family that will totally be cool with whatever comes up, but then there's grandparents and aunts and uncles and you just don't know.
You can't know.
And that's why I think we have to build these networks of us.
Right.
Who, if you don't feel safe with your family, we're your family.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's gonna. It sounded like the mom rolled on dad here and was like, "You did what with our son?"
Well, and then he just made it all that much worse by leaving the other two.
Yes.
Like, what kind of fucking messed up asshole?
I don't know how old those kids were. Did the story say how old those kids were?
Well, if they're
because,
if he was charged with.
But under the law and how old a child could be that you can trust at home. Like, again, remember when I was, it doesn't list their ages, but when I was a kid, you could leave your kids at home and it wasn't a big fucking deal depending on how long you were going to be. But you could also leave your kid in a car while you ran into the grocery store and nobody, like, that wasn't a problem either.
Yeah. But
times have changed.
I would say under these circumstances, that was the wrong decision to make.
Sure.
You just abandoned your teenager. And now you're really like you're batting.
So the last story then, let's wrap this up because I got to get ready.
Yeah.
This comes from The Friendly Atheist by Megan H. We're going to crank up the war on Christmas. So everybody raise a Starbucks glass.
In a world on the brink of chaos.
Why were the shepherds in their fields in winter?
As faith wavers.
I'm just not sure we should do the whole church thing this year.
One man will make a journey unlike anything you've seen before.
Where's your tree?
Dude, I'm Jewish.
This holiday season, a savior will rise up.
Oh, honey, Santa can't afford the new Xbox.
And a religion will fall.
We're saying Merry Christmas again.
Ho, ho, motherfucking ho. It's that time of year. It's time for the war on Christmas.
I can't wait to hear what you've got.
Well, so before we get to this particular story, I did want to mention, I'm going to be talking to Justin Scott, who's the state director for Iowa for American Atheists. He has been instrumental in helping multiple displays on government grounds to sort of counter nativity scenes and stuff like that. He's a
motherfucker.
Boss. Yeah, he is. He did a webinar for the directors that I got to watch that was really good. And so from that, I was like, great, people need to hear this stuff. Like, you in your hometown who have to drive by the fucking city hall with the nativity scene outside every day, you need to know that there is a thing you can do about that. You know, like there's a way to do it that's not being a dick. You know, you can put up a secular display that's not, hey, religion is stupid. You know what I mean? So anyway, I'm going to talk to him and do a recording with him soon and kind of get some, you know, ideas of what people can do to be activists as we go through the season here, especially coming into 2020. He has been, his thing has been going to presidential forums and shit and saying, hi, I'm Justin. I'm an atheist. What are you going to do for me?
Yeah.
What are you going to do for me? We are the largest growing block of voters, of religious subset in the demographics. Like, what are you going to do for us?
What do you got?
Yep. So anyway, it'll be fun. Fears of right-wing violence lead North Carolina towns to cancel Christmas parades.
Oh, fuck. No, not the parades.
Fearing potential violence from extremist pro-Confederacy groups.
Okay.
There will be no Christmas parade in the towns of Wake Forest or Garner, North Carolina, all because of the social media response to a parade float, including a Confederate flag sponsored by a group called the Sons of Confederate Veterans. And these are the words of Megan H. from The Friendly Atheist. The racist commentary online led officials to believe, quote, the event could be targeted for violence, the New News Observer reports. When officials learned that extremist groups, by which they mean racists and people opposing racism, I guess, were planning on attending the parade in person, they decided to shut down the event rather than create an environment for another Charlottesville.
Well,
while some people will inevitably complain about Christmas being canceled, this decision has everything to do with safety and nothing to do with religion. It's ironic, really, that the right-wingers, hell-bent on celebrating a past that included slavery, forced to 2 towns to do away with a public Christmas celebration. They only have themselves to blame. That said, let's keep in mind that this parade, Confederate flag and all, would have gone on if not for the fear of violence. Apparently, the predominant symbol of the Southern slavery was just fine before this year. To hell with that. If it takes ending a Christmas parade to make sure that that flag doesn't get a public celebration, good riddance.
Mm-hmm.
Amen. I will go with you on that one.
That's gold.
Yep. So there you go. There's kicking out the war on Christmas here. And
oh my gosh. Sons of Confederate Veterans.
Yep. Look, I get it.
Yeah.
Your great-grandpappy fought in the war, and you're very proud of his service to, at the time, his, not country, but, his viewpoint, his political, whatever, this heritage. I get all of that stuff. However, if your great-great-great-grandpappy had been a Nazi, a literal, honest-to-God German soldier in the Nazi army, would you be waving your swastika flag around? Like, what the fuck?
And okay, if your great-great-grandpappy, whoever, had slaves.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And but the answer to that for a lot of these people is, there ain't nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Right. I mean, so you really can't reason with stupid. I mean.
Right. All right, well, let's wrap up the show here, and we'll do this again in a week or so. And maybe we should end the show by asking President Trump whether he's going to get impeached or not.
Okay.
President Trump, will you be impeached?
I have absolutely no doubt.
Well, there you have it, from the mouth of the... Shut up. Of the president himself.
Oh my gosh.
All right. Well, this has been fun. We'll do it again. I want to thank everybody for listening and all of the patrons for patroning. And you absolutely make this thing happen. We'll be back in a week or so-ish, and we'll have more fun things to talk about. Won't you be our neighbor?
Oh my God.
SarahTalk is made possible by listener support. Visit patreon.com/SarahTalk to become a patron and help keep this program going. Contact Sarah and Company by email at producer@sarahtalk.com or call 224-40-SARAH. That's 224-407-2724. And follow us on social media, facebook.com/SarahTalkRadio and on Twitter @SarahTalkRadio. The opinions and information provided on this show are intended for entertainment purposes only. All opinions are solely that of the hosts and their guests. We make no representations as to accuracy, completeness, timeliness, or validity of any information and will not be liable for any errors or damages. Sarah Talk is a production of Sarah Austin Media.